started 8 days ago among a gathering of filmmakers, seasoned researchers, and supporters. Some meeting for the first time, others peers in the field. The rules of engagement for the 23 minutes of therm footage was made perfectly clear. If they can be debunked, then bring it on. Here's the video log documenting that process.
Hey Wally, how you doing?
Yeah, that's the best way to go.
This is pretty cool. This is the Pathfinder you have. I'm really impressed with what it does.
I'm going to record Bart's speech here with audio
That's pretty cool.
and thermal.
Bart Cutino, myself, and 11 other individuals, including 4 of the participants that were originally there that night when Bart recorded the subjects on his therm, has assisted in one form or another with the reenactment of what is currently the longest therm-recorded Sasquatch behavior on record, documented from a region that will forever be known as the Sierra Kill Site. This is an overview of our investigation.
Okay, first I want to thank all you guys for coming. And I want to thank Justin, because none of us would be here if it wasn't for him. As you guys know, I canceled a trip to Washington. This was like kind of a last minute. We were supposed to be, Leiterman and I were supposed to be leaving today. And after what happened 3 weeks ago, I figured, why am I going to drive 20 hours to where I saw one 5 years ago and drive 5 hours from home, and we got it right here. Plus, this might be our last opportunity getting up here, because in another month or so, they're going to gate this off when the weather starts turning. So we're about 7,100 feet. I want to start off, just let you guys know, just kind of do a quick recap so everyone's up to speed of what happened. I didn't believe the site was going to be still active. No way. That's my mistake. I had no idea. We did the lie detector test with the polygraph with Justin. Ro initiated that. As Ro's doing the documentary, which she's doing a great job on. That's, about halfway through or whatever. We still, hopefully it's still unwritten what's going to be in there. We're hoping. So, but basically what happened is, after they did that polygraph, Justin, they ran up here, and I don't even think you guys were planning on staying the night here, right? You were going to stay like a couple miles away. Yeah. So it was just spur of the moment type decision, and they went over like when we did our documentary, and Justin walked through at the kill site.
8 days with the Sierra Evidence Initiative team here in the Sierra Nevadas of Northern California.
So anyways, he was here with Sean, Ro, a couple other people, a couple of people that were kind of rookies, and it's about 4:30 in the morning. There was only 2 people. This is important. They had a fire going, and to anything external, it would look like there was only 2 people awake at the time. So not intimidating whatsoever. And it was Justin and a guy, Carl. And long story short, they basically heard a lot of, saw some silhouettes and saw circling around camp. I think one of them even stepped out of the tree line, and Justin used the term Jurassic Park sounding, with the stomping feet and very aggressive behavior. Not happy, obviously, that they were here. So they actually had the presence of mind the next day. I was kind of in contact with Nadia, trying to get her to document stuff, and Carl, he actually did a great job on one of the casts. You haven't even seen the cast yet, huh? We're going to get a copy of that to Meldrum, but I pulled some hair out of it the next. Ro brought it to Monterey to me and Bobo, and I'm pretty sure it was ungulate hair and rodent hair, which the forest floor is littered with. But anyway, they had one good cast, 2 shitty ones, and they documented the trackway. And so about another week or two, I told my wife, you're going to Washington, but can I just run up there for 1 or 2 quick nights? So we made it happen, and me and Justin came the first night alone. And we stayed up till about 5 in the morning. We stayed in the camp over here, walked down towards the kill site. We both, had that feeling of being watched, which I've had about 12 times, and 5 times I've had action from it. And we had nothing happen, though. And next day, Ro came up with Todd Hale, and Sean came up, and Michael Lorenz was with me. He's an excellent caster, and it was kind of I had him up here because it was kind of a thank you, because the day after they had casted that track, I sent him up here to try to cast any more, but no one was available. Justin was out deer hunting, so he walked around here 4 hours and couldn't find the trackways, which, flying blind, he had no chance. That next night, we were looking like we were going to get shut out. Hadn't heard anything. We did knocks and calls, all kinds of provoking stuff all night. I took Roe for a long walk. One thing that I was amazed, though, I have never seen as many deer in a 1 mile square radius as I did that day. I mean, not even a Pebble Beach golf course, which is loaded day and night. And they were all on the hillside as me and Roe were walking down. So Sean actually drove up, picked us up, brought us back, and we had the fire going. And Justin was dead tired. He fell asleep in the cot by the fire. Michael Lorenz went to bed pretty early in his truck. So there's 4 of us up, and I just made a last-minute decision. I was just curious, should I go to bed? I'm tired. And like I said, Justin was already out, and I just looked at Sean. I said, let's take one last walk. So that took place over here. There was the remnants of the fire that you guys saw over there, and then you have the tree line that's up here, and the road circles around getting back to the primary road. So Sean and I actually we went for a walk up, and our intention was we were going to get to the primary road, and we were going to either cut right, cut left, and walk for 300-400 yards. And I had an extra set of batteries with me, and I had Sean do one. You'll see tomorrow. Those of you who haven't been here, you can actually see the Nevada side where it turns into desert over here. And I had Sean do a call because he does a really good one. It sounds like a girl, but anyways, it was pretty funny because we didn't know it at the time. But the squatches, we got our hand kind of caught in the cookie jar because the squatches were already in the tree line because I filmed them 3 minutes later. So they were already up here, probably going, what are these guys doing? And so we walked up, and I got to get Roe that audio. It's pretty amazing. Literally, from where me and Sean walked up, it was 2 minutes later, and you hear on my audio, Sean, I'm filming squatches. And you remember that. And we stood there, and I just decided, instead of walking straight, I just said, you know what, I'm going to just see just see if anything's spying on camp. And it's something that from 5 years ago, it was totally unexpected. And my thing is just pay attention when no one else is. And I looked down there, and I knew like that. And you can see in the footage, initially it's just standing there, and it's just kind of rocking back and forth. And I'm just used to seeing animals and people from that distance, so I knew what I was looking at, but I did have one fear. Maybe I'm filming the guys in camp because I didn't know the distance at night, so that was always in the back of my head, but I knew they were bipedal. So anyways, I filmed them for a little while, and then I didn't see them again, and then there was like an hour and 10 minutes worth of footage and like 10 reels where I started and stopped it, walked up another 30 yards, looked back down. Nothing. Every other angle I tried, I couldn't get them. I went back down to the same spot, and that's when I got the best footage, when there was like the first 40 seconds where one is crossing back and forth in that little corridor. And I stopped it again. I tried to get a different angle again. Walked up past these little secondary noble firs on the side of the road. Nothing. And came back. I didn't see him again. So me and Shai go, we got to walk back to camp because 50 minutes has gone by. I got to get more batteries. So we walk back, come back in camp, and Roe and Todd Hale are sitting down. I see them stand up, and they're, before I can get a word out, I said at first, I go, guys, I just filmed some squatches, but they're there. We got them, but it's not damning footage. But we got them. And they said, oh my God, I knew it. And Todd Hale was going nuts, and he starts pointing up the tree line, and what they were seeing were, looking up, we're seeing shadows like silhouettes. With the ambient light behind with the trees, they were seeing shadows fill those gaps. And Roe, which I think is a very wise thing that he said with his experience, was just, I really thought I was exhausted and seeing things. And his eyes were playing tricks on him. Todd Hale was pretty sure that he was seeing something. So anyways, they pointed. I said, stop pointing. Everyone sit down. But they were actually pointing right where I was filming them from behind. And so about 10 minutes went by, and every time, this is important, because every time that I looked up there into that tree gap, nothing. They were either behind the trees, or you couldn't see anything. So I said, all right, we're going to go back up. So I take Sean and everyone, you guys, they sat down. So I go back up, and amazingly, in the same corridor, got him a third time. And on the footage, that's when we see the rock throwing. And I think that's the only thing you guys heard in camp that night. It's either a chest beat, you guys described it as, or like a rock on wood type sound.
And for the record, in case anybody was wondering, I never stood up from my chair other than when he was there to talk to us. So the chance of him filming me walking around is 0, because I never stood up from my chair because I was freezing cold because I had forgotten my jacket. So I was staying right by the fire. I never left my chair.
And Todd got up, I think, one time to grab
a log.
Keep the fire.
The fire was
going.
about to die. He got up one time to get a log. It lasted 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah, and everybody was accounted for. You know, Justin was asleep right next to them, literally on the cot, right by the fire. Michael Lorenz was out like a light. We would have heard him too if he got out of his truck. So, anyways, I had to make it. This is all important because it's kind of setting up the mind frame for what I think we want to at least try to do the first couple nights, and then we can, as I like to say, audible at the line of scrimmage from there, because we have plenty of time to do that. I had to make a decision because I didn't see them again for a few minutes, and I realized, you know, shit, it's almost 3:30, and we've only got like, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours of daylight left. And I had my vehicle and Rose's vehicle were up below, you know, probably about 20 yards from the tree line, and I had 2 recons on top of our cars, so it was covering this side of the camp, looking uphill. And I had everyone just pretend they're going to bed, and I, of course, do my thing where I have all the windows down. I'm laying down and therming, and had almost a, you know, at least a 3/4 view of the hillside. And I really believed, based on the behavior from what they experienced the couple weeks before, I really believed that they would come in closer to camp. And, you know, I went home physically ill because we just pushed it to the limit. I know Justin was just wiped out. He had to drive the next morning. I couldn't get my eyes open. And we didn't see anything, and they avoided that whole side of the camp. Now, some interesting things. Now, what are some of the parallels here, like I mentioned with the deers? The guys told me that while I was up there filming them, 3 deer came literally almost into camp, and which is a rare thing and usually a sign that a predator is around. Like I said, I probably saw 70 or 80 deer that day and night. I mean, it was just, I've never seen anything like it.
We were being paralleled by a herd for a good, I'd say, half an hour when we were on the walk.
That's correct. That was around 9:30, 10 p.m. And I kept thinking it was the same herd, but then as Sean was driving us back, I'm filming, and I'm like, wait, that's a herd, there's a herd, there's a herd. So they were just all lined up. So, I mean, and you just saw a deer 5 minutes ago right here.